Okay, hi guys. We're gonna get into the last lesson of this week. It's gonna be 4.4. I am going to switch it around here so you can see it. Um, Now I know Mr. Bryan showed you this type of a model of how to do um, multiplication. The only difference is, yes, it is. So in this case, guys, it is 46 times 9 and 8 tenths. So they want to show you that you could use this type of a model. And this is something that could pop up on the state test, is something like this, where they blank out the numbers. It is even quite possible where they could blank out this number and you have to figure out what this number should have been. So it is very possible that that could have happened. So it says a length of a day in the amount of time that it takes a planet to make a complete rotation on its axis. On Jupiter, there are 9 and 8 tenths Earth hours in one day. How many Earth hours would there be in 46 days on Jupiter? All right, so what they wanted you to see is that you could have separated out each of these. So how they wanted you to see that it could be separated out is that this is not just a 4, it is a 4 in the tens, which is worth 40. And then the 6 is not just a 6, it is a 6 in the ones. So 6 times 1 is 6. So that could just be separated like this. And then the other thing that they wanted you to do and see here is that this is in the ones. So what is 9 times 1 is 9. And then this is in the tenths. Now, the other way that you could have wrote that is you could have just said 0 decimal 8. And now what they wanted you to do is to make a model. Because remember, you could have done 46 times 9 and 8 tenths. Well, the only difference is they just separated it out for you. And I know you've done this not with decimals with Mr. Bryan, but you definitely did this with whole numbers with Mr. Bryan, because I see several of you turning in homework showing this, and that is fine. That's just another way to go about doing that. So now all you have to do is you do 9 times 40. So 9 times 40 is how many zeros are at the end? It's only 1. And then 9 times 4 is 36. So that is the answer to that one. Now here, what is 8 tenths times 40? The way you could do this is, we do that off to the side here. That would have been one place is where we need to move it. So that would be 0, and this would be 32. The other one is 0, so it's only going to give us a line of 0, so that's not needed or necessary, and we're just going to move it in one place. So it would just be 32. And then 8 tenths times 6. It is one decimal place that we would be needing to move it. This would be 48, carry your 4. This would be 0 plus 4 is 4, and move it in one place. So that would be 4 and 8 tenths. And then this one would be 9 times 6, which is 54. Now, real quick, in order to find the answer to this, you would just have to go and add up all of these numbers together to find out what that answer would be. I am not truly a fan of this method. This is not a method that I'm going to make you do. So it is okay if you want to use it. However, I am just truly not going to be using it. So in order to do this, you should be lining up all the decimals. If there is no decimal, the decimal is always at the end. So that's what I did there. And then you just simply add this all up. It would have been an 8. That would have been 10, carry your 1. This would have been 10, and then plus 5 is 15, carry your 1, and then a 4. So it would have been 450 and 8 tenths. So that is what they wanted you to do. However, I think it's just personally a lot easier to do the normal multiplication method. And since they both have the same amount of digits, it doesn't matter which one is on top and which one is on the bottom. That is truly up to you. The only thing is, make sure you put down how many numbers are after the decimal. There is only one. So therefore, I'm going to put that over here to remind me to move it in one place. So 8 times 6 is 48, carry your 4. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 4 is 36. But are we done? No, we are not. Remember, this 8 now goes over here and becomes a 1. Cross out any remainders, and now the 9 comes into play. 9 is now going to go to 6, which is 54. Carry your 5. So it's just like the normal multiplication method. The only difference is there's a decimal in it. So then 9 times 4 is 36, plus 5 is 36 plus 5 is 41. All right, and now we just add. This would be 8 and 10, carry your 1. This is now going to be 5 and 4. And then make sure you bring it in one place, and we still got the exact same answer. This is probably the method I personally am going to be using when talking about this. So this is just a lot easier to do because you're still using the same multiplication method. The only difference is at the end, you just move in that decimal place, how many places that is. And that is it. So I'm just letting you know, it is up to you whether you want to use the model or not. I'm just letting you know I am not going to be choosing to do the model very often, but I do want you to know how to do it just in case we see that on the state test. Now, the other thing that they could do is they could blank this out. They could blank out this. So in order to do something like that, you would do the opposite of multiplication and just take this number, and the opposite of multiplication is dividing. Divide it amongst here to figure out that missing digit. That is just another way you can go about doing that. All right, now this is the one that I am not a big fan of. They're just so confusing. So I don't like either one of these sides. The only thing is that it said a day on planet Mercury lasts 58 and 6/10 Earth days. How many Earth days are there in 14 days on Mercury? So in order to do this, you would do 58 and 6/10 times 14. All right, so the only thing that you need to know is that this is what it would have been. They already solved it for you. The only thing is you just need to move in that many decimal places. How many numbers are after each of the decimals? This is where the decimal is on the bottom number. There is nothing here. And then how many are after this is just 1. So 1 plus 0 is just one place. So now all I've got to do here is move my decimal in one place, and it would be 820 and 4/10 days. All right, now I'm going to skip down to here. I wanted us to show the model. So real quick, just because I was discussing this already, how can I separate 52? I could do 50 plus 2. And then how could I separate these two numbers out? It would be, I could have done 3/10 plus 5 in the hundredths. So that would be 0.05. So this, and then times this. So here is what you could have done. You could have done 50 plus 2 on this side of it. And then this side would have been 3/10 plus 5/100. And then made up a model. And then you do, all right, what is 50 times 3/10? And then you put your answer here. So I'm just going to go over this real fast. If you did it that way, it would have came out to be 15. And then if you did 3/10 times 2, that would be 6/10. Then 5/100 times 50 is $2, 2.50. And then here, 5/100 times 2 would have been 10/100. So what you needed to do after that is take everything on the inside and add them all up. But remember, when you're adding up decimals, it does matter about the decimals lining up. So make sure that the decimals are lined up, and then you could add this. And if you added it, it would have been 18 and 20/100. Me personally thinks that this takes too long of a method. It's just so much easier if you are just doing the multiplication behind it. So what I'm going to be doing is doing the method that I was showing you. And we're going to do the same exact problem, but I am going to, now remember that came to be 18 and 20/100. So let's see if we can still get the same problem. I'm going to skip around this here, and I'm actually going to do the same problem over here, but just using the regular multiplication method. Now, when I am lining this up, usually it's the one that has the most digits that needs to go first. So the one that has the most digits here is definitely this one. So I'm going to put that one first, and then times it by 52. Okay, how many numbers are after the decimal places? There's only 2 digits, so I'm going to come over here and remind myself I got to move it in 2 places after I find my answer. So now we just multiply like normal. The first one we worry about is the 2. So 2 times 5 is 10. Carry your 1. 2 goes to 3, which is 6, plus 1 is 7, and 2 times 0 is 0. Then you are not done. A lot of you want to stop right there and say, that's my answer. It is not done. You have another row of numbers that need to be here. Cross out any remainders. Now it's 5. Make sure you bring down that 0. Now it's 5 terms. 5 goes to 5, which is 25. Carry your 2. Then 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17. Then carry your 1. Then 5 goes to 0, which is 0, plus 1 is 1. When you add, that would be 12, carry 1. That'd be an 8 and a 1. And then you move it in 2 places. So therefore, I always would go with this way. I think it's just a lot faster and easier, but that's just my personal opinion. If you choose to do it that way, that is up to you. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm not going to choose that method. They do want you to try a couple more just so that you could do it. Again, it is truly up to you which one you want to, but since it is already here, I guess I will use it. Again, you don't have to do that on the homework tonight. It is truly whatever method you choose. I am going to show you just one more on your homework tonight, but then just so that you can see it, just because state test, you might be able to have that on your state test. So here we go. That already separated it for us. So then what is 7/10 times 10 would be, that would be 70. And then you move it in 1 place. So it's like 7. Then here, what is 5 times 10 is 50. And then how many decimal places do I need to move it in? I need to move it in twice. So it is like 50/100. Then here, 9 times 7 is 63. And then how many decimal places? It is just 1. And then 9 times 5 is 45. And then how many decimal places? It's just 2. So it looked like that. And then in order to solve this, I would take all of these and add them up. So make sure your decimals are in line with each other. You're adding, so make sure you put in a placeholder Bring down your decimals so you don't forget about that. That would be a 5. 7 plus 5 is 12, carry your 1. Now you have 8 plus 6 is 14. So your answer would be 14 and 25 hundredths. All right, and then just one more that I'm going to show you. Because my battery is super low, I'm just going to quickly show you it. So this one you could have separated 20 plus 7. This one would have been just 8 wholes. 8 times 1 is 8. And then plus just 3/10. And then if you multiply this, this would be 160. This would be 56. This would be just 6. And then 7 times 3/10 is 2 1/10. And then what you were supposed to do after that is just add them all up. And if you added it correctly, it would have been 224 1/10. All right, now the rest of these, I am just going to use my normal method. So it does not matter because they both have the same amount of digits, which one you choose to put on top or not. So I'm just going to put 18 on top here and then times it by 8 7/10. The only difference is make sure you say how many numbers are after the decimal, because that's how many places you need to move it. And there's only 1. So I'm going to put that over here. So now I just multiply like normal. 8 times 7 is 56, carry your 5. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 5 is 12. Then am I done? No, I am not. I should have not just one row, I should have 2 rows of numbers. So therefore, I need to move this one down to a 0, cross out any remainders, and then I carry on. What is 8 times 8 is 64, carry your 6. Then 8 times 1 is 8, plus 4 is 14. Make sure everything is lined up with each other. And then when you add this, this would be 6, this would be 6, and then that is 5 and a 1. And then make sure you bring it in just one place. So your answer would be 156 6/10. Next, again, look at which one has more digits. The second one does. So I'm going to put that one down first. And then I'm going to say how many numbers are after the decimal. It is just 1 in this case. So I need to remind myself to move it in 1 after I am done. So 3 times 1 is 3. Then 3 goes to 6. That'd be 18. Carry your 1. Then 3 times 5 is 15. Plus 1 is 16. But am I done? No, I am not, because I need 2 rows of numbers. So bring down your 0, cross out any remainders. Now the 2 goes to the 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Then 2 goes to 6. That would be 12. Carry your 1. Then 2 goes to 5, which is 10, plus 1 is 11. So 1 and then a 1. So now I add. This would be a 3. This is 10, carry your 1. This is now 7 plus 2 is 9, a 2 and a 1. And make sure you bring it in one place. So your answer is 1,290 3/10. All right. Now I want you to try 6 and 7 on your own. So please pause this and try those on your own. Remember, it is normal multiplication. The only difference is just moving that decimal in, however many numbers are after the decimals. So please pause this and try these 2 on your own. Okay, so you should have paused this. And just to make this a little faster, I'm going to show you what your answer should have been if you did it correctly. So in this case, you should have lined this up. You could have flip-flopped these. It really doesn't matter. But I chose to do 8 3/10 first. So when you do that, you got to remember you're going to be moving it in one place. So that would have been 3 and then 8. Bring down your 0. Then that 7 times 3 is 21. Carry your 2. Then 7 times 8 is 56. Plus your 2 is 58. And then you add. When you add, this is your number, but then you would move it in one place from the back. And your answer would have been 589 3/10. On this particular one, I'm just going to rewrite it here. I'm going to do it right in here. So I'm going to do times 28. You have to move it in 2 places because there's 2 numbers after it. This would have been 72, carry your 7. That would be 8 plus 7 is 15, carry your 1. 8 times 0 would be 0 plus 1 is 1. Then you are not done. You should have brought down your 0. Cross out any remainders and then went to the 2. The 2 goes to 9. That would be 18, carry your 1. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. And then 2 times 0 is 0. So then when you add this, this would have been a 2. This is a 13, carry your 1. This would have been a 5 and then a 0. And then how many places would you move it in? Is 2. So it is just saying 5 and 32 hundredths. So this one would have been 5 and 32 hundredths. You could have put a 0 back there. It didn't truly matter. All right, next, a jacket costs $40 at the store. Max pays only 7/10 of the price because his father works at the store. Evan has a coupon for $10 off. Explain who will pay less for that jacket. All right, so we have Max. Remember, it is the price of the jacket. He only pays 7/10 of the jacket. 7/10 of, remember, of means multiply, of the jacket. And then Evan would just take that jacket's price, and then he has a $10 coupon. So that means he would get $10 off. So what is 40 minus 10? That would be $30 that he would pay. Now let's figure out what Max would do. So I'm going to need some space here. I'm going to do it right in here. So if I did that, move it in one place. So that would be 0. This would be 28. And then if I bring down the 0, it would be just a bunch of zeros again. So this is my number. The only thing is I just need to move my decimal in one place, and that is saying $28. So who paid less? It was Max. He only paid $28, where Evan paid $30. All right, next. This one says an orchard sells apples in 3.5-pound bags. The orchard sells 45 bags of apples each day. But they want to know how many pounds of apples does the orchard sell in a week? So remember, this is a week. How many days are in a week? Remember, this is talking about a day, but they want a week. So how many days are in a week? It would be 7 days. So keep that in mind. So in order to find 1 day's worth, I would take 45 and times it by 3.5 pounds. That is just 1 day's worth, but are we only doing it 1 day? No, we are going to do it a whole week, which is 7 days worth. So I times it by 7. So in order to do this, I'm just going to show you this. If you do this, 5 times 5 is 25, carry your 2. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 2 is 22. Then make sure you bring down that 0. Also, there was only 1 digit after that decimal, so that's to remind me to move it in once. Then 3 goes to 5, which is 15, carry your 1. Then 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. When you add all this up, it would be 1,575, and then you make sure you bring it in one place. So that would have been 157 and 5/10. But again, that is only showing you this part, 157 and 5/10. Now you had to then multiply it by 7. So to save some time, I'm just going to show you what that would have been. You would have moved it in one place. That would have been 35, carry your 3. That is 49 plus 3 is 52. So I put a 2 down, I carried my 5. Then 7 times 5 is 35, plus 5 is 40. So I put a 0 down for the 40, carry your 4. Then 7 times 1 is 7, plus your 4 is 11. And then you move it in one place. And then that would be 1,102 and 5/10 pounds of apples. Okay, So now I'm going to move on here. I'm just going to quickly talk to you guys about this as well. It says, while researching facts on the planet Earth, Kate learned that a true Earth day is about 23 and 9300 hours long. So how many hours are 2 weeks on Earth? So this is how many hours long it is. So then it says, what would 2 weeks be? Remember, this is just a day. How many days are in 2 weeks? It would have been 14. So in order to find the answer to this, I would have had to multiply these two. So that's what I did here. So then when I did that, it would have ended up coming to 335 and 2/100. All right, now I'm going to go to this one. These were your only 3 answers, and they wanted to know which one would have been your answer. In this case, there were no decimals, so decimal places to move in, so this was your only answer. Here, there was only one that you needed to move in from the back, so that would have been your answer. Here, there was only one number in the back, so that's why it was this answer. Here, there were 2, so your answer would have been here, this. And then in this one, there was 2 after that decimal, so your answer would have been the same. All right, now, real quick, I'm gonna give you your homework. So here is your homework. Now, again, you don't have to draw a model. You can pick one or the other. However, I do want you to show me which one you are doing. I want to see the work behind it. So I'm going to put up here, show your work. Very important to do that. So you could have showed a model here. If you chose the model method, I'm just going to show you exactly what you should have gotten. So you could have separated 24/100 as just 2/10 plus 4 in the hundredths. And then how would you separate 84? It would have been 80 plus 4. And then you multiply these. When you multiply these, it would have been it would have been 160, but then you move it in one place. So that would have been just 16. Here, if you multiply that, it would have been 3 and 20/100. These two would have came to be 8/10, and this one would have been 16/100. But you were not done yet. You should have then have taken these and added all of them. And if you did that, which I did right over here, your answer would have been 20 and 16/100. All right, so that is what you should have done. So that is if you chose to do the model. I, on the other hand, am not going to choose to do the model. I'm going to do the other method. You can do it certainly on another piece of paper because they don't give you much space here, which I'm not a fan of. So if you do it on another sheet of paper, please make sure you have that other paper attached as a picture on your homework assignment as well if you are turning it in online. So always give me this paper if you're doing it on another sheet of paper. So in this case, I am just going to show my work on here because they don't give me much room. But I am going to give you what your homework is going to be, and then I'm going to do a couple with you. So the ones that your homework will be is 3 and 5 and 6, 9, and 10. I am going to do number 4 with you. Don't worry about 7 and don't worry about 11. So actually, I do notice that I do have a lot of space down here. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this one with you and this one with you, but I'm going to do it down here instead of doing it on another sheet of paper. So I'm going to do it right down here. So number 4 is 89 and 5/10. times 27. So first thing I got to do is check how many numbers are after the decimal. There's only one. So I'm going to put a 1 over here. All right, now 7 times 5 is 35. Carry your 3. Then 7 times 9 is 63. 63 plus 3 is 66. Carry your 6. Then 7 goes to 8, which is 56. Plus 6 is 62. So are we done yet? No, we are not, because we need 2 rows of numbers. Cross out any remainders. Then you do 5 times 2 is 10. Carry your 1. Then 2 times 9 is 18. Plus 1 is 19. Carry your 1. Then 2 goes to 8, which is 16, plus 1 is 17. And make sure all the numbers are lined up with each other. So then we add. This would be a 5, a 6. This would be 11, carry your 1. That would be 7 plus 7 is 14, carry your 1. And then a 2. And then make sure you bring it in one place. So your answer would have been 2,416 and 5/10. So 2,416 and 5/10. But again, make sure you have the work at least on this paper, if not on this paper, on another sheet, but I want to see that sheet. Don't just say, oh, I did it on another sheet of paper. No, I want to see it. So keep that in mind. Then this one, I'm going to do this one as well. I'm going to do it right here. It would be 15 and 98 times 61. So what I need to do on this one is see how many decimal places there are 2. So then 8 times 1 is 8, then 9, then this would be 5, then 1 times 1 would be 1. But am I done? No, I am not. So I need to bring down my 0. Then the next thing that comes into play is 6 goes to 8, which is 48, carry your 4. Then 6 times 9 is 54, plus 4 is 58. So I'm going to put the 8 down, carry my 5 to the next number. Then 6 times 5 is 30, plus 5 is 35. Carry your 3. And then 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9. And now I can go ahead and add. That would be an 8. 17, carry your 1. This is now 6 plus 8, which is 14. Carry your 1. This is now 2 plus 5, which is 7. And then a 9. And then make sure you bring it in 2 places from the back. So your answer is 974 and 7/800. Okay, so that is the front part. We are going to worry about the back part next. Real quick, the back part, all I want you to do is 1, 3, 4, 5. You are going to cross out number 6. But I do want you to do number 2 with me. So Aaron buys postcards while he is on vacation. It costs 28 cents to send 1 postcard. He wants to send 12 postcards. So how much will it cost him to send all the postcards? So again, this is to just send 1, but he doesn't want to just do 1. He wants to do 12 of them. So in order to figure this out, I would have to multiply this. Again, check and see how many numbers are after the decimal. There is only 2 in this case. So I'm going to put over here and say 2. So then we go 8 times 2 is 16, carry your 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, and 2 times 0 is 0. And then are we done? No, we are not. We need 1 more row of numbers. So cross out any remainders. Then 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 times 0 is 0. And now we add this all up. That would be a 6. This would be 13, carry your 1. This would be 3 and 0. So then I need to move it into places, 1 and 2. So the correct way to say this would be 3. We're talking about money, so $3.36. And that is how you do that. All right. I am now done, so I'm going to stop this right now. See you next week, guys.